Hello guys and welcome to the SA DPC, last installment of the week, last DPC matches of the week. We're starting the day with Hokori versus Infinity. Since we missed Thursday's match between Hokori and Wolf Team, as Hokori was sick, we get to watch them now to see if they can beat Infinity. This will be their first potential victory. If they do, Infinity, as per usual, we'll see what they want to do in game number 1, because that's where they usually do some weird stuff. Yeah. And see what they propose this time around.
Yeah, I hope it will last Versa. That would be sweet.
I mean, that wasn't even the worst thing you've seen. Astini has been with us for some of the Infinity stunts. You want to explain to her the punch carry, Astini?
Punch carry, no, I don't want to say it again. I'm
Third time's
fine
the
with
charm,
the
man.
Mars Rubik. I'm fine with the Mars. But they banned Mars, right? So yeah, they need to
that's
bring
true.
something new.
Has to be punch carry, man. There's no other option.
No. I guess this goes a lot on like which teams get Visage Monkey on this first phase.
Right, like tiny Visage Monkey, yeah. Oh yeah, Visage,
brain.
I like that. Oh, love it. Oh, there we go, at least we got the Monkey.
There we go.
I was going to make fun of you there too.
No, because the thing is like Visage has a bad matchup against Monkey, so sometimes you wanna you don't wanna first pick the Visage because they can pick Monkey into you. And now that they have picked Monkey, I guess it changes a bit the plan of Hokori. Like you want Visage, but now you might go Enigma or some other hero because you don't like that matchup. So yeah, I think it has a lot to do with these heroes at Dota nowadays, and it's interesting that they go with the green stroke.
Yeah, they might be optioning the infamous strategy. Was it them? They were always going for the Doom first phase, then Grimstroke in the second one, right? So they might just be changing it around. Grimstroke first phase, Doom in the second one.
Doom is banned, that's the
It's
thing.
banned though.
Oh, never mind then. That's a one ban I don't see.
Still 50% for the first phase, though, of the heroes called, which is not bad. Yeah, like the Enigma. I mean, you're not happy with the early game. The black holes in this game, right? The Grimstroke's gonna cancel you, the Monkey King's gonna cancel you, but once you get a BKB, you're going to be all fine and dandy. And of course, the denies are always a nightmare.
True. Very
I
European
wonder.
style hero, though, isn't it, Astini? We haven't seen that much Enigma in South America. Much more popular in the Europe.
Yeah,
region.
and I would love to see something European from Infinity. Let's say a Trint, Wyvern, some hero that pierces that BKB. Because it's something that I learned from an European 2 years ago. That she told me about something called Teamfight Reset. That was Gibbs.
I did.
And basically, it has to do with resetting the team fight. And what are the best tools you have for it? These AoE BKB piercing spells. So that's why we see like Warlocks, Trinks, Wyverns. Enigma a little bit can do that, but especially like those supports, so Warlock, Wyvern, Phoenix, Trink, those are the heroes you want to go in this meta, especially with the higher BKB cooldowns.
Exactly.
Then you're matching.
I don't need to say anything here. It's beautiful.
I learned it all with you, kids. Sorry, I'm just saying what you had to say. My bad.
No, it's incredible, and I love it when people remember the stuff that I tell them. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So that is very enjoyable. I did want to ask here though, if the Enigma is going to Vitaly here, like from the matches that I've seen from Hokori before, he's extremely important for the flow of their game in general. Like, do you think that Enigma is the kind of hero that he can do that on?
Yes, because it's a hero that you almost always have a great lane, and having a great lane is halfway through on having a good game.
Yep.
And it's a hero that can have a lot of impact when played correctly, so I trust he's gonna do a great game with this hero.
Excellent. That's what I wanted to hear. Well, we got the anti-Wraith Pact hero.
Yeah. You have the Clockwork that Hokori has been playing against the Snapfire, but I don't know if they want to have like 2 melee support, so they just want to like go with some default Bane here.
You could also tiny mid, of course, right? So they could keep the flex there?
Yeah, they can, but it really seems like a Misho hero.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. That's an early Sven pick, though. What are your take on the hero in general? There's only 2 teams that have wanted to pick the Sven in this region.
Yeah, this is kind of like, I mean, you don't need to buy a farming item, right? Which is always Sven's benefit. But I'm not sure versus the amount of like AoE magical damage that we see nowadays, and especially the amount of mobility. He just feels so kiteable.
Yeah, and the BKB nerfs hurt him a lot as well.
Yeah. Like, I mean, they're kind of counting on wombo combo here now. Like, double avalanches into a Sven blinking in, the black hole into a Sven going in. Like, that really needs to do the work here. And he needs to be ahead because he needs to kill on that first initiation. Otherwise, you're just spending all your time running around the teamfight, wasting your god strength.
It's true. And CK wasn't banned, for example, as a more popular, like, melee carry with stun to go with Witch Doctor. I'm surprised with the Sven pick a lot. Maybe they're the one experimenting.
Seems like.
You do not seem happy, Astini.
Yeah. I don't even think the hero has a great matchup against Monkey King. And Infinity can still flex the Monkey and go something like a Duza. That's gonna have a great lane against Enigma and will definitely counter this Sven.
Well, not anymore.
Well, they thought about that. They thought about that at least. Well, other heroes could be like a hard counter to Sven that could also deal with Enigma that you wouldn't want to hear.
I was thinking mostly Duza, to be honest. Like, you can go the TB, but it doesn't seem like a good TB game. I'd rather now play the Monkey as carry and get a different 4 or 3, right? You can play Snap 4 with some Tide type of hero.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not opposed to the Tide at all. He'd have a very, very decent lane versus that Sven.
And considering it's Mariano, they can even go with a lane that would make like no sense, something like a Venomancer, and have like Veno Snapfire just to win the lane. Okay. They can't.
Clearly, you coached Hokori for a while, huh?
Yeah.
I know the SA teams, yeah. Okay, those were good bands. Those were good bands. Yeah.
I'm glad you like him, Astini. You would have suggested the same thing. Okay, but let's look up picks, though. Hokori is the last pick. It's most likely either mid laner or 4, depending on the tiny is. Most likely mid laner. What are your thoughts, Kips?
I'd say you probably want to bring some more magic damage in there. But with them banning out like Puck Viper themselves, I wonder if that's actually it. Like, especially the Viper here. I guess you just pick a spirit, man. I hate to put it back there, but it's all the spirits are open right now, and just don't take the void. Get any of the other ones. I'm even cool with her spirit.
I think it's Ember all over again. Like, they've been playing Ember all the time. It's decent against Kunkka. I don't see why they would go something different. Maybe if they want to go like a DP or Razor, they just want to have like a great lane and good matchups. But Ember seems the best choice.
Well, for DP instead. Not a bad pick, though. Just a little bit phased out of meta.
Yeah, like she still fulfills her function really well, though, as like this center of the team fight that the enemies are either going to have to go through or around. And in this case, Infinity, they can go around, I guess. And they'd have a hard time going through, that's for sure. Like, melee heroes, nice spirit siphon targets. It's a decent Death Prophet game.
She also fulfills the tank role that Enigma can't fulfill, right? So makes up for the fact that you don't have a tank offlaner. Tidy is not really the best at doing that. Sven, ideally not.
Exactly. Yeah. Enjoy that pick.
It makes for a nice sniper game. I'll be trying to sell the sniper if anything wants to buy. I know they don't like it.
No, you know what I would like here? A Pudge. I think a Pudge carry, and you put the Monkey King as a 4. I think that's the strategy. I was really hoping for that, honestly. Oh, they swapped around the Monkey King. Interesting. It's gonna be a mid Monkey King. Is that a really favorable matchup for the Monkey King?
It's okay, but like you're gonna have to pull a couple of tricks because Death Prophet is for sure going to shove you in.
Yeah, because my question is, like, if you put Konka carry, Monkey King mid, is because the roles are the same. It's just the lanes are going to change, right? Monkey
Yeah.
will still be the main win condition, so must be. They think the lanes are much better. Is the Konka better in the safe lane than the Monkey King here? Is that what you're thinking? Okay,
Yeah,
Astini,
that's the case.
you not Astini? Is you next?
Yeah, because against Enigma, when you reach 5, especially when you're 3, it's already good because you have a green stroke in our lane, so you're gonna clean the Eidolons all the time. The Monkey King, he can work as a setup with the Boundless Strike, but it's not that great as the Kunkka, so aiming for a good safe lane, it does make sense.
So with that in mind, let's start with you, Kips, because you have the brighter background. What thoughts? what are your thoughts on these drafts? What draft are you starting with?
I have a hard time rooting against the Death Prophet, but I think I'm gonna do it because you have such good disengage and such good kite over on the side of Infinity. So I'm tossing my lot in with them.
Okay, Astini.
I like Infinity a lot here because, as we mentioned, they depend a lot on Pablo, on Vitali, how he's doing, and Enigma is not gonna have a nice time. I told Enigma usually does, but on that case, I don't think he's gonna have a nice time in lane, and this can ruin Hokori's game plan.
Okay, the panel agrees on Infinity. Nobody believes in Hokori, not even their old coach. Will they be right, or will Hokori prove them wrong? Can't wait to see as we go over to our casters. It's Dktruman and Bowie.
Yeah, Bowie, the panel went all in for Infinity, probably also, relying on the previous results of everything that we've seen, but where do you stand in this choice?
I mean, I do like the Hokori draft. I actually feel like with the builds Enigma are going recently with the Vessel, I actually feel like it's pretty good versus Monkey King in general. But last time we saw an Enigma in Division 1, it was Whisper playing, and that was not a hero he was very versed with. Like, he had very few games on the hero. It was quite underwhelming. Vitali, though, definitely more of an Enigma player. He really likes these like weird heroes, but there's a lot of Brewmaster, Broodmother. So Enigma kinda in that same lane of specialty sort of heroes. It's rough because I feel like a lot of the matches and series that Hokori lost, they were always 2-1, so they were always like kind of close from winning. But because they lost all series, it feels like this is such an easy match for Infinity. I don't think it's going to be that easy for Infinity this time, even though they actually took a series out of really good teams, expecting a 3-game series, ideally. But we'll see. The Kunkka is definitely going to be kind of a challenging lane for Vitali. I think this is the sort of lane where he kind of has to walk back to get the denies once Kunkka is level 3 and 5, just so there's no possibility for the Kunkka to really get it. You really don't want to be feeding the Eidolons for this Kunkka, or else you're just going to feel so sad.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of get your point. Still didn't really hear a prediction for the specific game, though.
For this game, I'm going 60-40 for Hokori. I'm feeling adventurous today.
I'm following you on that. I think this Sven could pop off completely. And, it's an Enigma game. It's always scary when it's an Enigma game. So, I'm going with Hokori. There has to be a moment when they do start winning, and I believe that it will be this time around. Though, looking at these lanes, you did talk a bit about, of course, that top lane. The Vitali Eidolons will just absolutely get demolished. But in kill potential, where do you think the camera should be focused around most of the time?
I would say bottom has a lot of kill potential. These Witch Doctor hero, ever since the Maledict buffs, he's really, really strong. This could be a lane where Yuma just gets that second point of Stormhammer. And, Mariano has to be very careful. If he ever uses Swashbuckle to secure range creep, it's very easy for him to die, even with that cookie from Genic. So I would say that bottom lane looks pretty deadly. Mid lane, we could see some sort of fight. I think like Monkey King is one of the few mid heroes where you're actually trading a little bit more than other heroes just because you want to be fighting with the Jingle Mastery. If he overextends a bit, the Spirit Siphon could definitely kill him, or Analog could also, end up dying. So probably bottom, but if I had to select a second place, probably mid.
Okay. Yeah, Mid is definitely an interesting one. Monkey King mid is, for me at least, quite a while ago since I've seen that one be picked up. And of course,
Mini not playing mid anymore, right? So we don't get to don't get to see mid Monkey King in South
Mini has
America
been
that
looking
much.
really good in the safe lane lately.
Oh, for sure.
Yuma just
Yeah,
needs to have a good lane, I think. If he gets like the ball rolling, he could outfarm everyone in this game so hard.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of people overstate the impact of these BKB changes on carry heroes. Like, for instance, if you check the carry win rates ever since they changed BKB, Ursa is the highest win rate hero carry-wise when you look at like number of matches played. So like Ursa is very picked, has a really high win rate, and you would expect a hero that almost always builds BKB to kind of suffer, right? Instead, he got a huge win rate increase. So I think it's a little bit more complicated than just saying, oh, Sven wants BKB, BKB is nerfed, now Sven is bad. I think, especially when you have a hero with a huge cooldown like Sven, like he's always fighting with both on anyways. So with God Strength cooldown being the same, it's not like BKB, you're not going to join a fight with God Strength on cooldown and BKB ready anyways. So I do feel like Sven is a pretty good hero nowadays. Kunkka is the one that might be a little bit outdated, but it is very good just because you have a lot of these very big damage spells on Hokori, so the damage mitigation part is pretty impactful.
Yeah, nice go ship into the black hole and the like. Pretty useful also to shove out lanes to kill off the Eidolons every single time, because the pushing power with the Death Prophet, even though it is nerfed the Exorcism, it's still pretty substantial. And the Eidolons, as if you get a couple of those buffs like the level 20 talent to get the Eidolon attack speed and whatnot, if you're not there, your buildings do get crushed fairly quickly. Though right now the lanes are being crushed heavily in favor of Infinity. Oh, nice toss back. Can they get the kill onto the Grimstroke? Nope, it's just nowhere near enough damage just yet. The Eidolon's doing a little bit more damage. Can he get back underneath the tower? El Misho is going for the chase, but he does get first blood right before he falls.
Alright, very impactful for a position 4 Tiny to get that first blood. And also interesting here, Enigma going for the Arcane Boot, so he's not going towards the Vessel route that I kind of talked about. Maybe he'll get it later, because he does have the Sage's Mask in the Circlet. But maybe just wants to give that mana for the Tiny to be able to play this lane a little bit more aggro. Enigma can be quite a strong laner when you get that second point of Malefice.
Yeah, the problem is just the Eidolons should just get crushed every single time, especially if the Kunkka is, well, he gets the blades of attack closer towards that armlet. He's just gonna rush it as well. So honestly, the kill potential onto the Kunkka is already next to none. He's just got too much armor and too much HP regen to get taken down by the Eidolons in this situation.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to go for the Grimstroke if you're getting play. The Grimstroke can definitely die. I think Vitali, now that he gets level 5, he can probably start stacking with these Eidolons, maybe farming some camps away from the lane, because you lose a lot of value if you feed Lumiere any. But they are zoning him pretty well. That value point in Midnight Pulse when you're alone in lane or versus melee carries, really strong. And you can notice that I love Enigma, so I will talk a lot about this bad boy. But going back bottom, overall the lane is looking pretty decent for the Sven in terms of net worth. He's 4th. So, pretty decent.
Well, Sven being in 4th net worth is not really where you want to be. But, of course, this is just the early stages of the game. Normally, when you're at, like, 15 minutes in, you should be at the top. Nice catch onto Gardic. Hokori will lose their position 5. And PP gets himself a nice kill added on top. So that's a nice first quick rotation coming out. Exorcism use on the side. They find themselves Prada, and that is a opening to probably deal some damage towards the tier 1 tower mid.
Yeah, I love this move. They still have Glyph. They want to make sure they pressure here. This is going to take a lot of the pressure out of the side lane. So you can see that both cores inside of Hokori are farming really well. And they're zoning. Like, they're going to force this level 2 Grimstroke TP to the mid lane. Even if they don't get this tower. this is a lot of extra time for this Enigma to recover, and now for the Sven to start collapsing to the jungle.
Toss
Oh,
back.
nice toss.
Exorcism has ended though, so the damage is kind of lacking at the moment. Inkspell stun comes out, PP gets his Wukong's down, Analog is slowed down, and this is problematic. The DP is in trouble, and the DP is dead. That's a huge kill. Janik will die to the Maledict in return though, but still they managed to find the kill on the DP, and it was the toss was kind of the worst possible time to get that toss going.
Yeah. For sure, but I still feel like that move is worth it. Like, you force a lot of TPs, there's not going to be any proactive moves coming from Infinity. You dealt 80% of that tower HP, so next Exorcism, that tower 100% falls, and this is just space for the Sven. He's going to be the star of this game, and so I think Analog did a pretty good job with that move, even though he dies. He could have survived, and then it would be even better, but it's okay that he dies. I think he accomplished a lot.
Well, right now Yuma is last in terms of the course on the net worth chart.
Oh boy.
That's not really where you want to be. Mariano did use the Rolling Thunder already, so that's going to be on cooldown for a little bit. But Yuma needs to be fairly careful. There's a lot of magic burst damage in that bottom lane if need be. And top, they're looking to go in for Lumiere. The Kunkka does have a ghost ship available. Black Hole gets used, couldn't get cast off, and that should be the Kunkka taken down. Very nice move coming out. Well, they find Gardic in that bottom lane. PP was there again, and he's even looking in the trees to see if he can find Yuma.
Yeah, really good use of that movement from Infinity by getting the Black Hole kill on the Kunkka. Vitali, like, that's the dream as an Enigma, when you actually get a carry kill with your first Black Hole. And one thing to mention about Yuma, we were talking about this Sven. All of the cores pretty much only do physical damage on the side of Infinity. He went for these phase boots that will allow him to get that extra armor against those heroes, but really kind of slow down his farm towards the jungle. So, not the greatest start, especially, you know, we're talking about his bottom of the net worth. It's not going to change as fast as if he had treads.
I also love, like, the new small camp creeps where they just randomly break you or disarm you. It's just BS for some heroes. Sven doesn't like it either because he can't cleave at that point, which just happened.
Being braked and disarmed? What's wrong with you?
Oh no, I love it because I never get to farm those camps.
I see. So you're just a sadist.
Yes.
Just like watching the carry suffer.
Yes, as a support, that is exactly
getting
what
some
you
good
want.
vision here.
There is Wukong's coming down. Nice bundle to strike onto 2 with the ghost ship coming in. Analog is in trouble. Rolling Thunder as well. Team fight cooldowns come into play, and Infinity crack down hard on Hokori trying to over-aggress.
And then Infinity Cliff Ward actually caught most of that movement, so that's why they were in position. Really nice moves by PP. And yeah, that is the type of death you don't want as Analog. He didn't pop Exorcism, so at least that's okay. But you can see that Infinity really understands how this game is going to be played. They predicted that move on the Kunkka. They blocked the Ancient with that Sentry Ward. So a lot of the next moves that they would like to do on Hokori being read very nicely by Infinity.
Yuma is still at the bottom of the course. Slightly ahead of Mariano now, but right now the Sven should increase quickly. Really needs that Mask of Madness to start accelerating his farm. Doesn't even have like any big stacks in the jungle made by his teammates, so it's just going to take a little bit longer for the Sven to be active, and that's kind of scary because that Sven needs to increase quickly. Exorcism used, Janik on the Snapfire trying to run away, will be taken down, but that Exo is pretty much going to be used to take down the tier 1 tower towards mid.
Yeah, that's good. They don't let that death really phase them down. They understand that Wukong's was used to defend the Kunkka top, so it's not available, and thus this is a free tower.
BP
hello!
Gets tossed back. He's in trouble. Maledict as well. Gets the boundless off, but he's just dead. BP. Got a bit surprised there by the nice cutting.
Right. Looks like Vitali did go back for the Vessel. I really like it. I think it's a great Vessel game. Enigma, you know, I think a lot of people still get confused with Vessel being built so often on this hero. And the reason is pretty much Black Hole is way too long of a cooldown, and now that Malefice is like a decent ability with the Talon at 10, you just actually accomplish stuff in fights with the Vessel. Even in games where Vessel is not good, you usually see Enigmas going for it. This game you'll get double value just because it's great versus the Monkey King, and as a good things about Enigma. he dies.
A lot of whiffed kisses, but he still won't be able to stay alive. Mariano looking for a chase further as well. Cookie Stun not going to reach, but the slow comes in. Rolling Thunder as well. Mariano needs to make sure he can get that catch, and Jenik is the one that gets the double kill on the Snapfire secured. It's going to be very quick on that Blink Dagger as well for a 4th position Snapfire.
He's actually ahead of the El Misha Tiny right now. 4-2. Doing pretty well this game. But yeah, we do see this Sven recovering, right? He is catching up to the Kunkka now. Yuma finally second here in position. But yeah, until the Echo is ready, the Blink is ready, he'll be AFK farming for a bit. So we'll still see Hokori playing as this 4 Protect 1 sort of lineup, especially if the Black Hole being ready now for Vitaly alongside his Vessel.
Yeah, they're not really annoying Yuma whatsoever on the side of Infinity. It's kind of very dangerous to let this one free roam and get all the farm he desires. Though they are smoked up currently, Hokori, right next to PP. Unfortunately, El Misho does not have a Blink Dagger, so it's really hard to get the jump onto PP.
There though. Oh, the smoke broke though.
Yeah, he sees them coming.
Alrighty, so yeah, I mean, I feel like Hokori, they're being a little bit slow right now. They have a lot of timings done, and they're not making any moves. You know, Analog, I guess, wants to finish this Zeus Scepter, but with the Vitaly having Vessel and Black Hole, I really feel like it could be creating a lot of space stop. Just like look at this move for Infinity. If Hokori was aggressively positioned in the map right now, it 100% doesn't hit this fan. It could hit this fan, although Gardic, very nice position here with Tank and Smoke.
Yeah, Gardic will very quickly get taken down. A couple of the kills are going towards the supports right now. Jenik does have his Blink Dagger done, so you do have a fairly annoying hero to deal with. Vitaly is going to get scouted out in the air. Hiltsuck. Superb Torrent. Ghost Ship connects, the Enigma is going to get whipped down. The Maleficent unfortunately not being able to save him. And I also like the fact that he does not want to stay too close to the Enigma in that situation. He's like, Black Hole's still kind of scary.
Very nicely done. Right there. And finally, the Usurper is done for Analog. So would love to see Hokori playing as aggressive as they did in the first minutes of the game. Sven finishes the Echo now. So Blink is going to be the timing where he actually joins his team. Right now, Hokori, it would really benefit them not to play, like, they're all farming the jungle. I'm not a big fan of what they're doing right now.
They're all trying to keep the Sven alive at all costs right now. And Yuma's actually going to invade the enemy triangle because he knows his is pretty much under full Infinity control. Tier 1 tower top should be secured easily. Vitally, yeah, no, his Blink Dagger is quite a while away on the Enigma, so it's going to be hard to make another big Black Hole play for the foreseeable future.
And he has Blink though?
Oh, that is actually a pretty big pickup. El Misho, with the Analog, as you said, on that Yules, they can take a nice engagement here, but team fighting is really rough against the Infinity lineup, especially with that Rolling Thunder.
They're baiting really hard on the Infinity side right now. Yeah, nothing will happen. Looks like Hokori read the movements pretty well.
Oh, they're looking for Yuma. Oh no. Yuma. Oh, just barely dodged Lumiere.
Oh, farm this? No!
Oh no.
No,
X.
Yuma! Yeah,
and the Rolling Thunder.
Dead.
They throw everything and the kitchen sink against him. They do find PP though towards mid in return. Nice catch from Hokori to make it a little bit more of a nice even trade. Though Lumiere is the one that's still alive and Lumiere is looking for blood. El Misho, he's trying to get the toss in onto Lumiere. At the very least, they will find Prada, take him down. But El Misho will fall. Jenik on the run. Exorcism used. Lumiere, that would be a huge kill if they could secure it. He can't armor toggle his way to victory. Does have a torrent available. Mariano trying to slow them down. Swashbuckle in as well. The torrent will at least delay Analog, but Lumiere is dead. And that's a nice double kill coming out from Analog.
Yeah, it would be much better if they didn't lost Yuma, but as I said, they also found PP. So it's actually 3, right? Because they did kill PP at the beginning of that engagement. So it's okay. I still feel like Hokori being a little bit too passive, but they are getting some counter kills. The problem is that Sven, like, he's a very timing-based hero. He could be as farmed as the Skunkar Monkey King, but if you don't really get those early kills, that early spike, the hero just falls off really hard or never really gets online. But they can't really allow Yuma to die like he did. And one way to not allow your character to die is to be aggressively positioned. Just force those TPs, force the attention so that he gets some extra farming towards that blink.
Yeah, I'm also a little bit worried. PP is now caught twice without really gaining much for it. And Monkey King, he doesn't have any farming tool on the monkey, so he does not really keep up that well in terms of net worth. And you do see him falling behind. You don't want a situation where it's going to be a solo Lumiere versus a double core. Like, Lumiere is just going to get absolutely crushed. Especially considering he's playing a Kunkka at the moment. There is Yuma that uses God Strength, and they are taking Roche, which is... I don't really get why they even attempted to start Roche. Oh, maybe that was a nice bait, but why would you go Roche with your lineup?
I think they're that has to be a bait. Like, they know EXO is down, so they're like, what if we poke Roche here and Hokori is crazy enough to really do something about it? Because they had that ward in the triangle that got dewarded. Maybe they also saw the Godsurf being used, and they felt like they could lure Hokori into a bad engagement. He's also not going Blinks, going straight up BKB, which I'm a big fan of on Yuma. I feel like,
Vitali is going to get caught. That is a pretty big kill. That gives you a chance to at least try to take that tier 1 tower mid, because you don't have that threat behind them. He does have the Blink Dagger done on the Enigma, so you do definitely have to be a lot more careful on the Infinity side of things, but they have a plentitude of ways to interrupt it at the very least.
Bardic, he gets vision of the ward, but he understands he's dead if he tries to take it down.
Mariano standing right on top of the sentry as well. Just hugging it currently. They are going to get that counter ward going. Almisho tried to go for the blink toss back, but luckily enough, they did disengage in time on the Infinity side. And Lumiere, yeah, he's going for the armlet into Silver Edge build. It's always kind of weird to... I mean, what is the correct Kunkka build?
I mean... It's this hero. I definitely don't play Kunkka whatsoever. I feel like this is a very feeling sort of hero. There's so many builds as you talked about. You know, you can rush BKB, you can go for the magic build. I think this game, physical damage, like burst damage, is really the way you want to go for. It really counters DP very hard. It allows you to like kill the Enigma through back hole when you have units, right? Usually Enigmas feel like they are safe with BKB. But if he gets a couple of Tidebringers as his black holding, he could take like half of the Enigma's HP off. And if the fight started with him not being full HP, he could just die. So I'm okay with this build. It's not like the Silver Edge is really gonna like be amazing this game, but it allows him to split push. It gives him the crit with the hit, so it's fine. Speaking of him though, he actually gets Yuma. He has BKB.
Oh, Yuma being chased topside. Takes a lot of damage though. Shotgun Blast luckily enough doesn't stun, but Yuma, this is just gonna get whipped down them. Yeah, that's the Silver Edge damage coming through, and he kept on to that first charge of the BKB for way too long. Like, he lost
Very greedy.
2/3 of his HP before he decided, okay, maybe I should use it.
Yeah, and I mean, that's even with him having the Pupil's Gift there. That's some extra armor, but once he popped the Mask of Madness to run away, he took extra damage from the Tidebringer. Just got taken down. I mean, I don't even blame his build. I think he did a really good job with it, just disassembling the Echo. Got some extra armor items, has the extra armor from the neutral. Now a fight's starting.
Misha being jumped here. Actually, Forstaff to the opponent's high ground. They're all very grouped up, but I don't think there's an Enigma that has the guts to go for a black hole in that scenario. I also like the fact that you do have Mariano going for the Basher on the Pangolier, which is a BKB piercing stun against the Enigma. of course, it's, you know, you need to be a little bit lucky, but with 4 swashbuckles coming out, you're probably going to be able to get, like, you need a bit of RNG. It could be unfortunate, but there is a chance.
No, yeah, for sure there's a chance. And it's a good item on Pango. It's really increases your damage. He doesn't really want to take too much farm. As you said, the Monkey King really struggles with farm this game. A lot of times you just see the Pangoliers defaulting to Maelstrom, but that actually takes a lot of the farm that PP could take with his Primal Spring. So I'm actually totally okay with not having the Maelstrom. They already deal really well with the Eidolons. I mean, he just solo kills the Eidolons even without any other items. Definitely a good game. Finally a smoke. I feel like it took way too long for Hokori to do something like this. But that's because Infinity was playing aggressive and it was always Hokori responding rather than being the aggressors. Oh, I'd love to see a Roach here.
Oh, they're just going to go into the pit. Exorcism used. Plus the Sven's God Strength. And Roach does die pretty reasonably swiftly. No chance to get a response in. So a nice little sneak there from Hokori coming through. And we'll be able to secure that first ages of the game. You said, of course, that you are a Enigma enjoyer. But honestly, I don't really see many games where Enigma gets more than 3 black holes off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play for professional teams. I mean, thankfully for all the professional teams out there. But yeah, in pro games, it's definitely a little bit harder to get black holes off. And I think, you know, a lot of times the strength of this hero is really not getting that black hole off, because any good player, when you see that black hole is on cooldown, will just force the hell out of everything, because this hero feels pretty useless. Once they have BKBs, that Vessel's not going to matter, Malify's not going to matter. So you really want to make sure it's a fight that even if you whiff your black hole or you don't get that much out of it, there's not going to be cooldowns being used by the enemy team. So you don't want to like smoke into a black hole, because sure, you got a kill, but they can just reset and they'll have all of your spells and they know you don't have yours. Sometimes you want to respawn with the black hole, because now the Wukong's command was used, now the Rolling Thunder was used, and you know that the downtime of your spells and the enemy team spells are going to be down at the same time. Sven top. It's the Snappy.
Yeah, was hunting him down through the trees, did manage to eventually find him, and Jenik is an easy kill. Sven also does have the Aegis, so he can play a little bit more proactively. PP needs to be careful. He's being spotted by Vitally the entire time, jumping about in the trees. And Enigma, that's also one of the biggest counters to a Monkey. The Enigma Midnight Pulse just cutting down all the trees in the area.
It is so satisfying to get a Midnight Pulse off on a Monkey King. It feels really, really good. That's probably why they picked it. And I was a little bit surprised with the Monkey King being played as a core, even after the Enigma. Being you were sure there was going to be a core Enigma at the end of the draft, but PP very confident with his Monkey King, and so far he's been doing a really good job. Never got caught by the Midnight Pulse. Spoken out from Hokori. They will have all of their spells, and that's an Arcane Rune with Exo. That's a huge power spike. The problem is that Vitaly is not with his team, so he has to connect somehow.
Yeah, they're heading towards him to bottom, but there's a smoke on smoke shenanigan coming through. Actually, they're going back in, looking for possibly a catch onto Analog, but he's surrounded by his allies. They know Vitally is still towards bottom, so there should not be a black hole if they take a fight. This could be their timing if they could get a catch here. It's kind of like you have to choose one or the other. Either you go Vitally or you go the rest of the team. And they are stuck in eternal limbo trying to decide where to head.
It's a really tough choice, because if they actually go and fight into their big jungle, first of all, they know it's warded. Second of all, they're going to be far away from any objective. So it's not really a fight worth taking, even though they are strong at the moment. But at the same time, Vitaly cannot connect because they don't have the top outpost. Oh, he just goes for it.
Okay, Mariano Bango is dead. Black hole used just for a quick first kill. That is the Rolling Thunder out of the team fight. And they need to disengage on Infinity, because the Rolling Thunder is probably one of their best tools to take an engagement. Janik gets tossed upon El Misho with the tiny airlines, throwing in Yuma, Soulbind onto Analog, but he does not really care that much. And oh, he jumps over, TP back, and he get away. No, he cannot toss back by El Misho, who is really using that Blink Dagger pretty solidly for the side of Hokori. And Infinity, only the 2 main cores still left alive.
Love the cajones there on this Enigma. Just goes for it. No questions asked. And, just because he used that spell, it allowed the vision and the time for the rest of Hokori to connect. It's not like he is really willing to go for Black Hole. Oh, there we go!
PP is going to get caught. And there's no way that he can get out of here, is there? He's going to go in, though. Wukong's command. TP attempt. Does he get away? Yuma tries to burst him down. Had to double damage as well. Oh, PP, that is... Well, you did praise him, so we had to curse him. Unfortunately, he did get cut down a little bit by the Enigma.
I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of this Yuma TP. Like 30 seconds before all of that happened, Analog had the Arcane Room going with X already, and they already had those kills on Infinity. I think with that double damage, they should have probably just forced that mid-tier 2 tower. That TP didn't get the kill, and now they're kind of grouping with the Aegis expiring and no Black Hole. So this is a risky fight.
Oh, Rolling Thunder in from Mariano. X-Mark, Ghost Ship connects. In the meantime, Analog's on the backline going for the supports. El Micho is dropping low. The BKBs get used. Mariano has to roll away because he used everything. The 2 supports are dead. But the rest of the team seems to be able to get out, except for Vitally. The Enigma will be the last one falling in this position. Actually, maybe Yuma. He doesn't have a TP available. He's trying to disengage. Janik trying to get the slow in. Mariano chasing. Doesn't have the Basher just yet. But this is a very fast Sven. Oh, Mariano. Oh, force me back. Yuma popped the BKB, though. They're still hunting. Gets the blink back. BKB is going to be on cooldown, and it's a lengthy cooldown.
That is exactly my point. Like, because they went for that move bottom, they accomplished very little. They used the BKBs, they used God Strength, and they actually lose the tier 2 tower. So I really felt like they misread what they could be doing in the map. With that Arcane Rune, the double damage, tier 2 mid could be down and they could have the outpost. Instead, even though they had Aegis, it's Infinity that gets the map control. So I think they got GBaited pretty hard for that PP move, Once you get that Midnight Pulse off, you really want to punish the Monkey King. I can see why he went for the TP, but they paid a very hefty price for that attempt.
That's also kind of rough if you've used Black Hole. Because there is nothing that the enemies fear at that moment. Like, no, of course, God Strength is annoying and Exorcism is annoying, but they have their tools to deal with it. They've got BKBs, Pangolier with the roll-up, Rolling Thunder. You've got the Snapfire, of course, can try and cook you away. He's even going for the Ags, which is almost done on the Snapfire, which is kind of huge, because if you get possibly an Aether, you can even save people out of the Black Hole.
True.
And most importantly, you can yeet the Pangolier on top of them.
Yeah, it's definitely huge. I think since they have 3 melee cores inside of Infinity, they do want to be yeeted. So I like the choice of that Snapfire. Now, a Smoke from Infinity, but they do have most of the cooldowns here on Hokori besides the Exo.
Lumiere also has a Basher. Lumiere has a Basher. Mariano is almost done with the Basher. Right now, PP decided to go for the Scotty, but he queued up the Basher himself earlier as well. So they really are fairly annoyed by this Enigma BKB.
Basher, it's also really good versus Sven. He's not a hero that wants to build Basher anytime soon. I mean, pretty much ever. And, Bash heroes always beat non-Bash heroes in my book. Kunkka?
Oh, that's scary. What? He comes back. Black Hole being used. Lumiere,
That's so unfortunate.
That was fairly
I think
painful.
He had the chance to BK. I guess you do come back even if you press BKB as Kunkka, right?
I think so, because it's not an enemy debuff.
Yikes. Oh, that's so unlucky. That was such a timely ward coming by Hokori. And yeah, finally they actually get a huge pick off right there. They don't get any real estate for it, but it's still...
He did jump back a little bit soon, I think. Like, X-Mark still probably had some time before he had to jump back, so might have been able to wait for his teammates to rotate through. PP jumps in towards mid. Exorcism has been used. Soulbind as well, but the Soulbind actually does not connect thanks to the Force Staff. Now it does. PP, however, is dead, And why I'm doubting why they would jump there to take an engagement. The toss forward, and that is another one secured for Hokori, who are right now, well, dominating on Yuma. And with Lumiere dead, yeah, their team fight is just lacking. Like, PP is broke, Mariano is pretty good still, but PP is just fallen off so far in terms of net with this game.
Yeah, and this is huge. They're being very greedy with this Roche right now. Without God Strength or Exo, I'm not sure they're gonna get it. But if they kill Mariano, with enough heroes dead, you can definitely just brute force this Roche. They might attempt this right now. We'll see.
It's still a little bit scary without Black Hole, obviously. And
no, they do have God Strength. Sorry, did God Strength actually come back from that fight? I think it did actually.
did he even use it?
Okay. All right.
I don't think he even used it, to be fair.
I think to kill the Kunkka, right? Didn't he pop it there?
I think they just Black Holed and smacked him.
Okay.
Maybe he could have used it.
No,
There's a lot of particle effects going around. I don't know which ones I need to always pay attention to.
Yeah, Madness definitely kind of mixes with God Strength sometimes. And yeah, that's the shard on Sven, huh? That's really good this game. But he passes it to the Enigma. Yeah, we're talking about the save from the Agnus Snapfire. That makes it much harder with the shard on that bad boy.
Fairly annoying. I also do really like the Sven shard though. Like, it's insanely good. Extra 7 armor on everyone in your team, and Warcry is undispellable, which right now is not really that important, but later down the line could be definitely a plus if nullifiers and the like come into play, which I can definitely see a Monkey King build.
Definitely. But I mean, we were talking about armor. He also did go for the Warcry armor talent. So he actually gives away 25 armor. Probably why he gave the shard to the Enigma.
You know, he should just double click his Yules. He just randomly Yules himself.
It happens with the best of us, man.
Spooked. And then, Yep, a little bit unfortunate. I mean, the most important thing here for Infinity is they need to start the fight where Lumiere joins slightly later than the rest of his team, because he's the one that brings in that nasty whip damage, and he cannot risk getting jumped. Like right now, Vitali can just walk in with the Black Hole attempt. There we go. Lumiere is going to get caught. Janik, he noms him! Yeets him away! There's the Ags coming into play. Big save onto Lumiere. That right there is a support.
Wow, that was so clutch, actually. He did have the shard, so it's very delicate to be able to pull that off. I think without the Psychic Headband, he gets caught inside that Black Hole very easily. So I'm pretty sure that 100 cast range helped him. And yeah, that was huge, because they had that sentry. Oh, let's go to the replay.
Yeah, that was definitely on the very edge there. Look at this. He's like, almost, yes, I got him. Quickly yeet him away before I get killed.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's the dream. Like, the eggs is already worth its price in gold after you get something like that off. The Aegis timing being wasted with that Black Hole on cooldown.
Okay, Mariano gets jumped. That's the basher onto Elmisho. What? Elmisho is pretty aggressive here, because they do not have God Strength or Black Hole available, so there is nothing for Infinity to fear at the moment.
Yeah, I'm surprised
Except
they are
for
going for this. There's no God Strength right now.
Lumiere's
No tiny.
BKB is on cooldown though. Wukong's comes down. Lumiere, can he get away? Does take a lot of damage, but again, Janik with the toss away, trying to keep his teammate alive, but Gardic takes him down beyond the problems here. Pipi will get the first life taken care of. Vitali pops his BKB. Bash is going to stun him up, but Yuma is back alive after the Aegis. And yeah, it is the Maledict that manages to secure the kill on the Kunkka. He got it off just at the end before the Kunkka got away.
Okay. Yeah, I think they played the fight really well. Yuma used, like, because he didn't have the God Strength, he just used his body. He took a lot of the Wukong's damage, and that allowed everyone else to be able to do a lot of damage. Also, the fact that they jumped that Kunkka, so even though he gets saved, he's not doing damage in the fight. Didn't have BKB, as you pointed out. So
yeah, that's again the BKB nerf there. He had 12 seconds left, and otherwise would have probably just popped it, ran away, no problem.
Very true. Still, they get a couple of tier 2 towers here from Hokori. They do actually amass a really big net worth lead. It was pretty even until 2 or 4 minutes ago. Alright, they're gonna try and poke high ground here. Black hole up in 10, so I get why they're doing this.
Okay, they're going in a very early roll from Mariano, which, okay, doesn't really get too much out of it. Yeet in the Grimstroke, he immediately blinks out before he takes any damage, because that was a very scary situation, but they keep their buildings intact, and they force them back at the very least.
Yeah, that's good. If you just pop Godstrength there and you don't get anything out of Infinity, then you can be pretty scared of a smoke gank since the Aegis expired. But they don't have Kisses or Rolling for a while, so I think Hokori is going to be fine. They'll just camp the triangle here, wait until they have their cooldowns, and they're in really good fighting shape right now.
Yeah, the game is very much in favor of Hokori at the moment. Of course, it can all turn around pretty quickly, but the fact that Lumiere is now also being beaten by Analog, who's got the Shivas, they've got tons of armor on the Radiant side at this stage in the game. Black Hole is a threat. Next item that he's going to go for, of course, is going to be the Refresh Orb. He's got the Wraith backed, which needs to quickly get taken care of in the fight, but they also, I mean, Janik wants to kind of take it down quickly. However, he's also, in this case, the saving grace for their team.
It's kind of a weird game because it never felt like all of the farm Lumiere got never felt to be used. Like, he got picked off out of position a lot of times, so it always allowed Hokori to, in a way, start the fights when he was in a place he was not supposed to be. But when I look at their draft, I could definitely see them taking lots of fights. You have this Blink on the Snapfire, you have the Eggs on Snap. But for a while now, they really struggled with taking the advantage. You know, part of that comes from the fact that they lack vision. But even still, I'm surprised they didn't go for like a blind smoke after the Aegis expired and their cooldowns are back. You know, if you're gonna go for something like that, now is the time, because you know Roche's not gonna spawn, but you're not gonna get punished heavily.
Grimmy does get caught out bottom lane. It happens to the best of them.
Oh, Lumiere again.
Not again. Lumiere, can he get away? Mariano with the swashbuckle. They've got Janik nearby for the possible save in case it's needed. Lumiere, careful, run away. Janik, can he save Lumiere? Black hole gets used and Lumiere is dead, and PP gets dragged into the black hole as well. Tossback coming in. Boundless Strike at least from PP holds him at bay for a bit. Mariano with the roll. He's distracting them nicely, but PP inside the Wukongs, he's not going to be able to stay alive. All that armor he gains is nothing against the sheer force that the Sven brings into play. And yeah, Lumiere has just been caught time and time and time again.
Definitely not the best performance by Lumiere. I think he actually did a really good job in lane, which is expected with that matchup. But never really got to do much with it. I think he just got caught off way too much, which is not something we see very often from Lumiere. Maybe, you know, this carry Kanka, not something a lot of people are playing, so they got baited into winning the lane. But it doesn't feel like he knows exactly where he's supposed to be in the map in a lot of these situations.
And you are kind of playing with two position ones that want farm, but PP is severely underfarmed, even though he does bring more problems for Hokori into the team fight. But right now, El Misho is getting a lot of nice cash. He does get stunned up, but Janik will be absolutely smacked in return. And they kind of just have to wait until their cores are back alive, otherwise they can't do anything. And most importantly, Lumiere just needs to get himself a whip off that kills off the supports in one hit. Because that's the most important. These supports are never dying. Gardix died 5 times his entire game, and that is a Witch Doctor, one of the more easy to cripple heroes.
Yeah, I mean, when Elmisha actually has way more deaths than the Witch Doctor, although he's being positioned very aggressively. Like, look at Gardic. He has more farm than the Tiny. It's been a while since I've seen a Witch Doctor have so much farm. Greaves, 4-staff Gleamer? Jesus. That's a Yale doctor. This guy has been charging $500 a consultation.
I haven't seen a Greaves in a long time. They're gonna go in on Analog. Can they stun lock him? No, he pops the BKB. And will just be Spirit Siphoning himself back to full HP. Mariano looking for more. He spots out Gardic. He's trying to get rid of the Witch Doctor. But Mariano, everything's on cooldown. Boundless Strike comes in. Can he get away?
Doesn't die.
And this does get popped. Gardic still alive. Finally does fall. But they went very deep for a kill onto a position 5 Witch Doctor. And now PP needs to disengage because he doesn't have a BKB available. He's going to get silenced up as well. There's Yuma. There's the jump. Janik trying to save his teammate, but they just get cleaved together because that is what a Sven does. Toss forward. There's the tiny airlines coming into play and triple kill for Yuma. This is a god-like Sven right now. He just tears them a new one.
Wow, yeah, that's a huge comeback from Yuma. He was struggling quite a bit, was 0-2 for a long time. But yeah, some of those mispositioning times from Lumiere. I mean, speaking of misposition,
Oh
Jesus.
no! Don't walk to the Sven. Why are you even? What in what world could you even kill him there, especially alone?
I think he wanted to cut the wave, right? And he just his ankles are getting broken. Like every time he tries to split push, there's a sentry where he didn't expect it to be. I mean, they have buyback, but with this black hole ready and a refresher on this Enigma, I have no idea how Infinity can turn this around.
Oh, they need a little bit of luck coming through. They do have double black hole. Mariano is dead. PP is next. GG got called, and that is indeed game number 1 going in Hokori's favor. And another Enigma win coming through, but they played it really well. And Infinity kind of dropped the ball with their advantage.
Yeah, I think they did really well in lanes, but struggled to do much. I really feel like Lumiere's positioning was not on point this game. He had like a free lane. He was getting pickoffs. He was doing really well, but then he died like 4 or 5 times in a row. So for carry dies 4 or 5 times, there's really no game plan. There's no way you can win a game like that. Everyone else on the side of Hokori, I think, played really well. Analog, you know, we saw those early movements. He sacrificed a lot of his game for the benefit of everyone, and he paid off. Yuma got back into the game in style. So that's some good showings. There was some signs of life from Hokori, the 0-4 team.
Yeah, Lumiere's positioning wasn't great, but PP also really didn't do anything on the Monkey King this game. You get the Monkey mid where you get the experience, but because of the items which are more fighting oriented with the Echo BKB, you pointed it out during the game as well. They did not use that. They did not get aggressive on their side, so it was a little bit unfortunate for Infinity. Maybe they can achieve a better performance in game number 2, but the panel will discuss what exactly went wrong in a couple of seconds.
Seconds.
Because of course, we were correct in our predictions, but we need to hear why they were wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like looking back into this game, the Kunkka Enigma is a weird hero. Like, you feel like you're gonna counter him in lane, and suddenly the hero's not gonna be impactful. And I think a lot of times that is wrong. Like, if you actually get your carry, a hero he loves, or a hero that is good in the patch, and you're countering the Enigma at the same time, then it can be awesome. I feel like the flex that they did usually looks good with the Kunkka, but they got punished hard. I don't feel like Lumiere was very comfortable playing that hero.
Yep, it definitely looked a little bit wonky at times, but for more information, listen to the panel. We'll be swapping out and taking our rest. We'll be right back.
My panel both said Infinity, but in the end, Hokori won, much to the chagrin of their old coach. Justina was just really buying for his old job back. But the reality of it is that Hokori ended up outplaying their opponents a little bit. What do you think were some of the factors that led to this, Astini? Do you feel like it was a draft issue, like maybe the changing in the Kunkka Monkey? Or do you feel like they just didn't play as well as you expected them to?
Something on the draft that made the difference is having the DP on Hokori's side and not having a hero that really has Roche potential on the other side.
True.
Because I guess this game had so much to do with having the Aegis. Like, the biggest counter of a hero like Enigma, like Faceless Void, that's gonna press R and you're dead, is having 2 lives. So you need to be able to get this Roche. Infinity, they had a good early game. They were winning fights, but they couldn't capitalize on Roche. So they even did like this fake Roche attempt where they tried to pick up a fight there. But at the end, what happened was Hokori had 2 free Roaches in the game, and that really decided as the winning condition.
Kips, would you agree with that? Do you think there was the Roches that made the game how it was?
Yeah, as well as that, there were some differences in itemization here. Like I think if Lumiere goes for a BKB at the same time as PP, for example, you can just shove this game through before the Sven gets big enough to actually join. Big difference maker in the damage output for Infinity, because they didn't have any magic damage dealers, was actually the extra armor from the Sven. And suddenly you're trying to kill anyone with the Warcry on them, and you picked a Pango last instead of any magic type damage dealer. So if you, once Genic had that double role of save / magic damage dealer as well, we never saw him deal damage anymore either, and it was just, how do you win fights at that point? So yeah, put an Aegis on top of that, and the fact that you have to be 5 to push any kind of objective, and Hokori clearly does not, and you have all kinds of wonkiness in your team play as Infinity.
Yeah, we kind of could tell in the team fights, as the game went longer, it didn't feel like Infinity felt comfortable team fighting at all. What do you think was the reason behind that, though? Do you really think it was just their draft became worse, or do you feel like they were starting to doubt themselves, or is there some ounce of desperation perhaps in their plays?
Disconnect? Like they didn't look to be on the same page at all. Like especially in that smoke move where they're supposed to choose between either going back to their triangle and making use of the fact that the Enigma is bot, or going to the Enigma and immediately killing him. They're just sort of like 4 of them are standing around, and Lumiere is already wandering off to the enemy triangle. He chooses neither. And I think that was very illustrative of how the rest of the fights in that game went as well. Like clearly they were not all on the same page.
Yeah, it's true. As Infinity tradition, the first game is usually the worst one, and they usually recover in the second game. That's something that both of you forgot, guys, and it's the most important factor in this draft. Who cares who wins the draft? It's Infinity. First game is never going to be theirs, but second game tends to be. So, will they come back against Hokori, thus proving, I guess, is Bowie's really attacking Hokori, so maybe he will be happy about that. Or perhaps Hokori will take the 2-0 that everyone wants, and they'll start to rise up in the charts. We're going to have to see as we take a small break and come back with Game 2 between Hokori and Infinity.